Very good evening, friends, followers, viewers. It's a wonderful Monday evening. As we all know, COVID-19 vaccination drive is going on in full swing. Hang on, is it going on in full swing? Or are there more of rumors to it and less of facts which are still not known to the public? Well, let's not stop this drive and let this drive go on full swing, because we have today with us the experts, the veterans from the healthcare sector, and they are going to debunk the rumors and going to share the actual facts with you. Without further delay, let me quickly welcome my eminent panelists for this evening. Welcome Dr. S.K. Gupta and Dr. Kamla Pathak. It is my pleasure to have both of you on board today with us as our eminent speakers. Dr. Kamla Pathak, she is a professor, Dean, Faculty of Pharmacy, Uttar Pradesh University of Medical Sciences, Safai, Etawah. Pleasure to have you on board, Dr. Pathak. We have Dr. S.K. Gupta, MD, FICP, CFM France, Clinical Assistant Professor, GS Medical College. What a pleasure to have you on board, Dr. S.K. Gupta. Before we initiate our discussion, tell me, Dr. Gupta and Dr. Pathak, is it actually a fact that we have more of rumors and less of facts? Over to you, Dr. Gupta.
What an interesting question. What I understand is that it used to be more of rumor initially, now it is more of a fact.
Okay.
Previously, when the vaccines were launched, there was so many questions in the minds of the people, because this is the first time that we are having a vaccination for the adults. All the public is used to having the vaccination of their children done, and they are all comfortable taking their child to the doctor, getting him vaccinated at regular intervals after the birth. It is for the first time in the century that the vaccination program started for the adults. And adults, they will have their own problems. Like many of them will have the old age, the ladies will get pregnant, and many of the people will have diabetes, they will have hypertension, and they will be consuming a lot of drugs. Some people will be taking steroids, some people will be on all sorts of various medications, and there will be all apprehension that this vaccination might not hamper their disease, might not cause any harm to them. So there was some sort of hesitation in the beginning that they should go for the vaccination or they should not go for the vaccination. And over that came the fact that the vaccination process, the entire vaccination developed in a very short span of time. We as a scientific community are used to having vaccines over a period of 10 years. Like, for example, a vaccine took about 10 years to develop. This was for the first time that the vaccine got developed within a span of, say, 9 to 10 months. And people were really apprehensive because the corners have been cut. We have really surpassed some safety measures because the vaccines are likely to be safe to them. And over that came the rumors. There will be also always the people who will be having the vested interest. And they wanted the vaccination program not to be successful. The reasons for them, there may be various reasons.
So Dr. Gupta, as you rightly said that usually vaccination, the whole R&D takes good decade-long time. So I have a question for Dr. Pathak. Do you think that, a lot of people think that we are guinea pigs? I think the medical fraternity is just testing and trying things on us. So what do you have to say on this, Dr. Pathak?
See, Dr. Gupta has explained certain facts about the vaccine, what people used to think and why they are apprehensive. What I want to say is that vaccines for many years have prevented countless cases of diseases and disability, and they have saved millions of lives. Now we have vaccines for COVID. Now COVID-19, it came as a pandemic, and it didn't give time for us to do research. But still, our scientists did a lot, and as you rightly said, the formulation development takes at least 10 to 15 years. right? This is the what we have studied and we observe. So what has happened is it goes millions of dollars goes in the research also, but in this case we didn't have the time and we had an accelerated development program. So what happened was the vaccine development, its approval and post approval, all these three things, they were done. They were actually done. Nothing was missed. It was just that they were streamlined and they were overlapped. So phase 1 and phase 2, we didn't wait, because there are, see, if we are doing a trial, there are 3 phases, 1, 2, 3, and then post-marketing surveillance. But what was done is 1 and 2 were run in parallel. 1 and 2 phases were run in parallel. Third phase was started while the second phase was still on, and we got some results. So that is what has happened. That is what has happened. We have done some,
but somewhere, and somewhere I think, these are those technical aspects which, of course, I mean, at the end of the day, the consumer certainly will not get to know, or probably will get to know, not at that short duration of time which they were expecting. So somewhere, Dr. Pathak and Dr. Gupta, now I would certainly like to ask you that, as you said that, okay, with the passage of time, with doctors already who have, they have got vaccinated. So somewhere there, the trust factor has built. Somewhere that assurance is there because the healthcare fraternity itself has got vaccinated. So what would you like to add to this, Dr. Gupta?
I first like to add on to what Dr. Mrs. Pathak said. Previously, there was we were doing the things sequentially, one after the other. Now, in the pandemic, we did the same thing simultaneously. And secondly, there was a huge amount of information flow. All the governments, they opened their coffers to the vaccine development. They gave huge amount of money to the scientists, and the information was not confidential. It was exchanged. We had lots of free information and lot of exchange of information. So we did not have any hesitancy in developing a vaccine. Secondly, as Dr. Mrs. Pathak said, there was fast approvals and all those things. So what I understand is that there were no corner cutting anywhere. Secondly, thirdly, when you come to whether the public is being used as a guinea pig, I really don't think that the public is being used as a guinea pig. In fact, we, the medical community, we came forward willingly, having full faith in the development of the vaccination, and we got ourselves vaccinated. Voluntarily, we went ahead. Rather, we were waiting that we could get a vaccine. And we had full faith, we had full confidence in the vaccines developed by the country, both the vaccine, may it be Covishield or may it be Covaxin. So I really thank all those people in our community who were really enthusiastic to get vaccinated. Not only that, because they needed the vaccine, but also because they believed that the vaccine is going to protect them. And it really served the purpose. We had the vaccination program as early as 16th of January. And unfortunately...
I think that second week of January it was initiated,
And the vaccine, and the second wave struck. Second wave struck somewhere in the late March.
Month of April.
Or the mid-March. And we had full 2 months, luckily we had full 2 months to get ourselves vaccinated. And nearly 1 crore people were vaccinated. And most of them, they went comfortably well through the second wave. And we could save large number of lives working hard and saving the patients.
Definitely, and I think hats off to the healthcare sector that in such a short time span, despite knowing the fact that things are unpredictable, the research on the virus is still on, and the virus is mutating, every now and then. So despite these hurdles, somewhere the healthcare sector certainly took this leap, and the sector, the experts within the sector did trust it. Dr. Pathak, I think you wanted to share about what the vaccination drive is on. So what is the population like in India? Like where are we at the moment? Are we in a very comfortable zone, or are we like running behind?
See, if we go by numbers, then we have around 140 crores of the population, as I've read in the Google, that 140 crores of Indians have been vaccinated, which is far better than the number of people who are vaccinated in US. But when we count in terms of percentage, then we are definitely lagging behind. So that comes to around 4% for India and more than 45% in US. So in terms of percentage, we are really far, far behind. And the reason for this may be many, but definitely there are
Right.
certain rumors also which are going around. And I came across some funny rumors which I would like to definitely share. See,
Yeah, yeah,
I
please go ahead.
yeah,
Dr.
they are funny
Sophia,
rumors.
Dr. Pathak, may I first correct it? Probably there was some
Yeah, yeah, please.
slip of tongue. We have 140 crores of population, and out of which 38 crore people have been giving the one dose. We have been giving the doses. About 5% people have been giving the both the doses, and about 21%, more than 20% of the 21% of the population
Okay.
has been given at least one dose. So this is a fairly good number
21%. Okay, so
of the whole
21%.
population.
Readers, please pay attention. Yeah, 21% of the population has been given the first dose. So both of you feel, yeah, yeah. So both of you feel that we are in a comfortable position, right?
Right.
I
So I
find
was
myself
talking
in a very
about,
comfortable position. There could be some
Okay.
reasons that we have not been able to vaccinate large number of people. Madam would like to highlight those. Dr. Kamala, you kindly continue.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
please,
was
Dr.
trying to
Patil.
tell about the numbers, the rumors which are circulating. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I have heard, can COVID vaccine, 19 vaccine alter my DNA? This is the kind of question. Or the vaccines contain microchips that can track people. Or even this is one more funny thing. COVID-19 vaccines are activated by 5G because we are going for 5G. And these are the kind of things, like
This
even
is
people talk
this is
that can
bizarre.
COVID,
This is
yes,
bizarre.
COVID-19 vaccines cause infertility, they can kill fetal cells. So these are the kind of rumors which are spreading. So it is
Right,
our
right.
responsibility
And all,
to
readers,
curb these rumors.
all thanks to the WhatsApp University. So we
Yes,
are live today with experts here. So please send in your questions and don't go by the rumors, but go by the facts. And here we have the experts. Okay, before we continue with this discussion further, we have questions coming in now. There is this reader who is asking, will this vaccination work on all variants? And are we safe after vaccination? Yes, this is a question. I think this is a common question with commonly with everyone. Even I got my first dose after my COVID recovery, and I had this doubt in my mind when I read about there is this new Epsilon variant and Delta plus, and my whole concern was, am I safe or not? So yes, Dr. Pathak and Dr. Gupta. Dr. Gupta, over to you.
Fine, that's a wonderful question. And that question remains in the mind of everybody who has got even one dose or got two doses. As of now, whatever vaccines we have and across the world, I'm talking across the world, not only in India. We have two vaccines. We have really four vaccines in India. One is the Covishield vaccine, then the Covaxin, third is the Sputnik V vaccine, and then we have the Moderna vaccine, which is there in the market. A lot of studies have been done, and the scientific studies, they have shown without doubt, I'm saying without any doubt, that the current vaccines, they work fairly well on all the existing variants, including the Delta variant, including the Delta plus variant. What to talk about Epsilon or the Lambda variant, which have just come? They are not even the variants of concern; they are just variants of interest. The most dangerous variant word across is being said to be the Delta plus variant or the Delta variant. Delta variant is being said to be dangerous because it has a very high level of transmissibility. And secondly, it is slightly more virulent, and India has gone to the second wave by Delta variant only. And the recent studies done by the ICMR and in other countries also, they have shown beyond doubt, I'm saying beyond doubt, that the current vaccines, they work fairly well against the Delta variant, Delta plus variant, Epsilon, as well as the Lambda variant. And there is no variant except the South African variant, which is slightly not very effective, being neutralized by the Covishield vaccine. But the Beta variant or the South African variant is not a very prevalent variant in India and not likely to come soon.
Right.
So it should remove any doubts. See, we people, we are working on the front line. We are seeing all the patients, and where the patient, the relative, and the relatives do not want to go to the near to the patient. We doctors, they come across the patient and talk to him face to face. And we too have got vaccinated by the usual vaccines, that is the Covaxin or the Covishield in February and January and February. And we do not feel hesitant. But it is important simultaneously that you do not get complacent by having vaccinated yourself. It is very important that you observe the COVID appropriate behavior, that is, use the mask,
Right.
keep the hand sanitization ready all the time, and maintain the social distancing. And the
Absolutely.
COVID appropriate behavior, that is the mask, has been shown to prevent the transmission of COVID nearly 85% of patients. That's a very
85%. So readers, please
very
pay
sound
attention.
figure.
Here we have the expert suggesting you once again and highlighting that COVID appropriate behavior is the need of the hour. Dr. Pathak, you also got vaccinated as the healthcare frontline warriors in the month of February and March. So somewhere you were talking about these rumors. So I have this quick question coming in. If you would like to take this question, why there is no definite period of second vaccination? Sometimes 4 weeks, sometimes 84 days. Now, Oxford study says gap of 1 year also increases efficacy. Yes, of course, these questions have been coming in. In fact, a lot of people are also confused about the fact, if I'm done with one dose, do I really need to go for the second dose? Or is one dose more than enough? Over to you, Dr. Pathak.
See, 2 doses are necessary. That is my statement, right? Because the first dose starts building up the protection, and the second dose works to reinforce this protection. So both the doses are necessary. And if you can recall, there are many vaccines which require 2 doses, like MMR, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, and so on. So when we come to COVID-19 vaccines, again, we require 2 doses. Like for AstraZeneca, we have 8 to 12 weeks apart. That is first dose, and then after 8 to 12 weeks, we can have second dose. Novavax requires 3 weeks separation. Sputnik requires 3 weeks, and CoronaVac 1 month apart. But there is one vaccine which has been developed by Johnson & Johnson, which requires only 1 dose. But that is not available in India, right? So according to me, the second dose is necessary to reinforce the protection. For example, suppose there is a table in a room, and we want to move it. Right, so one person may not be able to move it, but if there are 2-3 persons, they will be able to move the table. So for a common man,
beautifully simplified it. Yeah. True.
I'm using this analogy just to confirm or reaffirm that you require the second dose. Please do not miss it.
Just to make it reader friendly and viewer friendly. I think viewers, you are clearly getting the answer here. Why exactly 2 doses are must. Also, I think, Dr. Gupta, there has been some studies going on, and I think that is why some readers are asking. There is this one question coming in, especially for Dr.
Can I add upon to the previous question? What
Yes, Dr. Gupta, please.
Yes, one aspect of the question. Why sometimes the government said it is 4 weeks, why sometimes it is 8 weeks, and why now it is 16 weeks? There are two things to it. One is that the vaccine, the Covaxin, which has been developed by the Bharat Biotech Limited, has a fixed dose duration of 4 weeks, 28 days. There is no doubt about it. Regarding the Covishield vaccine or the AstraZeneca vaccine, there were some studies which show that as the duration increases, and these are developed by chance, then it was found that the vaccine efficacy increases. So suppose when the duration of the interval between the 2 doses is say 4 weeks, then the efficacy of the vaccine was shown to be around say 80%. But when the duration between the 2 doses increased to 12 weeks, the efficacy was shown to be around 90%. So these are basically scientifically based studies, and the data is very robust. And secondly, the most important part is the logistic of the government. The government does not have the vaccine in large number of doses, and it has been shown beyond doubt that if the people they get at least 1 dose, then even then they are protected about 70%, 76% of the cases. So government's priority at this time would be to provide vaccination to larger number of people, rather than giving 2 doses to 1 person, because we have the robust data. But as we do not have the robust data with the Covaxin, the government is still going on with the 2 dose schedule apart 28 days. But with the Covaxin, the government has now increased the duration from 12 weeks to 16 weeks. So my suggestion and my request to all the people listeners is that they should go for the second dose of vaccination as advised by the government without any hesitation and without any problems. As the Moderna vaccine comes in India, we are likely to have a two-dose schedule that is around 28 days apart.
Wonderful. I think Dr. Gupta has clearly given the answer. Dr. Pathak and Dr. Gupta are clearly stressing on 2 doses without any doubt. This one specific question for Dr. S.K. Gupta. My entire family members were COVID positive in the month of May, and my parents took their first dose in April. So when can they take their second dose? I think, yes, this is a common question and again common doubt with most of us. So Dr. Gupta, would you like to address this question?
That's a very common question, and we get really the queries like this. And the answer to this question is that I would first like to know whether they had a severe disease, they had a mild disease, or they have a asymptomatic disease, and which vaccine did they have at the first vaccine in the month of April. If I believe that they had the Covishield vaccine, which is the commonest vaccine available in the available to the people in India, which is more than 90% being given, then they should comfortably go for the second dose of the vaccination 3 months after the recovery. I'm saying 3 months after the recovery, once they have completely recovered, they do not have any symptoms, they can comfortably go for the second dose of vaccination 3 months after recovery.
Wonderful. So, reader, I hope it solves your answer. You get your answer. Before we take further questions from the readers, I would like to know from Dr. Pathak and Dr. Gupta, what are the primary challenges which the sector is facing when it comes to the entire vaccination drive? What are the hurdles like? Apart from rumors, of course, that's exactly what we are discussing this evening. But apart from rumors, what do you feel, Dr. Pathak? What are the key hurdles or key challenges which are, stopping or, slowing down this entire process? So first, Dr. Pathak and then Dr. Gupta. So over to you, Dr. Pathak.
I think the people at large should understand the risk versus benefits of the vaccine. See, the chance of getting sick or dying from a particular disease, it may be, suppose 1:100, or it may be as large as 1:10,000. But one must decide whether the risk is worth taking for the health or not. Because we can never identify ourselves as the 1 out of 1,000 or 10,000.
Right.
So we should always realize that the risk is high. And on a lighter note, if we are talking about children, a child is 100 times more likely to get struck by the lightning than the allergic reactions to the vaccine. People are worried about the allergic reactions to vaccine. But what are those reactions? They are redness, pain, or swelling, or low-grade fever. So all these side effects, they go away. So the risk is very less. But the side effects associated with the vaccine,
side effects are minor, and
the benefits are more. And the benefits are more. Right. So what I think is that the people should be able to assess the risk and benefit ratio. That is the major hurdle. Once they assess it and they find it that yes, it is beneficial for the purpose of our own, for the purpose of the family, and the purpose of the community. Because unless and until we are completely vaccinated, there's always a chance. There's always a chance that the disease may reoccur. It can respread.
True.
So it is for the purpose of individual, family, and community level that everybody should assess and go for vaccination. So that is the major hurdle.
Over to you, Dr. Gupta. Yes.
Yeah, that's Dr. Pathak has very wonderfully enlightened us about the facts of the vaccine. They have a very limited side effects, and the side effects, they are mild and they go away in most of the cases. And the risk of contracting the disease and having a severe disease and dying from the disease is much more than the side effects. Second most important hurdle that we find over here is the rumors. And Dr. Pathak initially said that some people they have in their mind that the vaccine is going to cause infertility. Some women, they feel that it is going to cause impotence. There are lots of anti-vaxxers. They have political reasons. They have all vested interests. Yes. The people should not go into the rumors, and they should always clarify about the vaccination process from the government side, which is the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare side, or from the health experts, and find out whether the vaccine, what the truth is. Second, the most important hurdle, which is not at the level of public, is the development of is the availability of the vaccine. The
Availability.
vaccine
Okay.
availability in itself is a problem right now. It is going to be sorted
Right.
out in due course of time. You see, the problem with the vaccine is that vaccine development requires a dedicated facility, and these
Right.
facilities, they cannot be ramped up. We have the world population of more than 7 billion people, and all so many doses, so many glass vials, so many other infrastructure, they cannot be developed. And the vaccines are not like tablets; they can be developed or they can be manufactured anywhere in the world. The
True.
Pfizer, they wanted to they wanted to ramp up the capability to manufacture more vaccines, but it became a failure because the vaccine process development has to be really scientific. We have to follow all these safety measures, and we have to develop the vaccine as per the protocols laid down. So the government of India is likely to overcome this problem because the Covaxin, the Bharat Biotech has now transferred the development of the vaccine to their facilities where they were manufacturing the rabies vaccine, and the Covishield has also started getting some raw material or some requirements from the USA. USA was not really supplying because they were themselves suffering from the second wave in a very large manner. Now,
Right.
because the cases have settled down in USA, their vaccine requirements have gone down. The supplies have started coming up in India. New vaccines have started coming up in India. Novavax is one vaccine which is going to take away the deficit of vaccines in a very, very big manner. And the Novavax vaccine, once they submit their phase 3 data to the government of India, and I hope it is likely to be by September, then the vaccine deficiency is likely to go away. And what our Prime Minister has said that by December end, we are likely to vaccinate more than 95 crore people. Then I think it is going to be true because I foresee many vaccines coming into the market very shortly and very effective vaccine. Vaccine is a wonderful vaccine.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Dr. Gupta has already cleared these doubts that the readers had in their minds. I mean, we are still going to talk about the rumors, but here we have a crystal clear answer on the status of vaccine, the hurdles. So at least we as public should not be that hurdle, isn't it? So let's not get into the rumors and let's hear out the facts from our experts. I'll be taking a few tough questions here. There is a reader who is certainly asking and wants to know your views on, what about the yatras that are going on, the campaigns, the election campaigns that are going on, the gatherings and the travel that is going on with no COVID protocols. So what is there for common public? And what's the rescue for those sitting at home? Now, I think that's one tough question. So would you like to address this question, both of you? Yeah, Dr. Pathak.
Yeah, I would like to say that this is absolutely COVID inappropriate behavior. People should understand and really understand. If they are questioning the vaccine, they are questioning the efficacy of the vaccine, then question yourselves. What are you doing? How are you contributing for not COVID-19 not to happen again? That is my just one line statement. Please think. If you can question the vaccine, please question yourself first. Don't question the product. Question your behavior and accordingly
Absolutely.
do something.
Yeah.
That is the best thing you can do for the community. And
I
I think
yes, Dr. Gupta.
I feel that the government has already cut a sorry figure about the Kumbh and the election campaigns in West Bengal. They had to really face a very sorry face. And regarding the last line, what is the rescue for the people sitting at home? I say this is the rescue. This is the rescue. You apply the rescue over the face and try to cover the face as well as the mouth. Many of the people, they want to keep their mask like this. They are uncomfortable. They keep the nose uncovered. Or times they keep their mouth also uncovered. And when they are talking to each other, they remove their mask. Their mouth as well as the nose should be very well covered, and in fact, people should use 2 masks. What happens many a times is that the mask becomes loose. See, what is important is this bead over here. This is the bead. If you can see, this is the bead which should be there in every mask, And this bead is not a very difficult bead. You can apply a simple moti and try to tighten the strings. Here also, you try to tighten the strings and try to keep the mask over the face as well as the nose, particularly when you are going outside to buy the vegetables, to go to the grocery shop or anywhere. Try to move outside only when it is absolutely required. Do not go around talking to people, and do not trust anybody. He is maybe a shopkeeper, maybe your ayah, maybe your vendor, a regular sabji vendor coming to your house every day. Always use a mask. And this is one behavior by which you can cut down your risk by more than 85%.
More than 85%, here we have the answer. It clearly cuts down the risk. So readers and viewers who are watching this live today, what insightful and wonderful, interesting facts the experts are sharing. So please don't take your mask lightly. There is one good question coming in, and I think both of you would like to address this question. Is vaccine the real answer to virus? Now that is deep. That is certainly deep. And of course, even I as a reader would certainly like to know, like, is this vaccination, like I'm done with my first dose, my second dose is due next month. So post the second dose, like, am I done for eternity or will I have to repeat this with every new variant? Over to you, Dr. Pathak.
Right. See, first thing is people should believe that vaccines are safe. Whatever vaccines have been developed till date, whether it is development, approval, post-approval, vaccine monitoring, I already have said that the processes have been overlapped, but none of them have been skipped. So whatever product we have in market, they have been tested, and we are not guinea pigs. We are actually fighting coronavirus through various modes, and vaccination is one of the modes. And it is one of those modes which is actually going to help the community. It is going to help the community. So my actually very strong answer is yes, this is one of the answers to fight COVID-19. There can be many answers, but this is one of the strongest answers and easiest answer to fight COVID-19. That is my message.
Wonderful. At least this answer you should not be skipping. Over to you. Yes. Over to you, Dr. Gupta.
With the question, is that the vaccine is the answer to the virus?
Yes. Is the vaccine answer to this virus?
Yes. We do not have any antiviral drug as of date. There is no antiviral drug as of date in the world against the coronavirus. So the prevention is the only cure. The vaccine is the answer to this virus. But what is the evidence? You will all like to know what is the evidence. The evidence has come from the countries which are vaccinated to their large amount of population. Israel is one good example. They have vaccinated nearly almost entire population, and the number of COVID cases have really come down. USA is a wonderful example all across the world. They have vaccinated more than 75% of their population, maybe even less. And the vaccine, the COVID number of cases have come down. People have started going there. The CDC has now allowed people to talk to each other in the closed group without mask. People have started traveling over there. But if you feel that having yourself vaccinated is the answer against the virus, no, it is not. You not only need to vaccinate yourself, you need to vaccinate people around you. People around you would mean that the family members, your ayah, your employees, your neighbors. And neighbors, the definition will keep changing. The neighbors, household neighbors will be those who are living around you. Once you go to the market, the neighbors will change. Once you go to the office, the neighbors will change. So not only get vaccinated yourself, it is important that you motivate others to get vaccinated. And as we have around 75% people vaccinated, we are going to get out of this nonsense, I feel, forever.
What a positive point, and what a strong message here that we are certainly going to come out of it. Vaccination is the only solution. We are coming close to the end of the discussion, but before that, we'll certainly take some, these fun elements from our experts here. Dr. Pathak, what has been your recent experience about the rumors? You were sharing about some bizarre rumors, but what have been other rumors which have been circulating in India? And would you like to debunk them? Over to you, Dr. Pathak.
Oh, actually, I have already stated the funny rumors, and other rumors, they are politically oriented. So I would not like to use this platform for saying those, because I would like to keep myself away from those, right? But definitely, it is being said कि जरूरत नहीं है, ये नेताओं ने फैलाया हुआ है, भ्रम फैलाया हुआ है, and all those kinds of things. And there is some element of fundamentalism also. There is some element of fundamentalism, and
Yeah, a
that
lot
is a
of
big
people
trouble.
are, a lot of people are relating it with religion. I don't get it
Yes.
why. Because somewhere you need to come out of all these and you need to have a clean slate to get yourself vaccinated. But
There
yeah,
is
I
only
mean,
one
the
religion.
rumors
There is only one religion, which is humanity. That is to be only
and
taken
health.
care of.
As of now, right now, health is wealth. So yes, over to you, Dr. Gupta. What fun or bizarre rumors that you have come across recently?
And Dr. Pathak has already said that there are some fundamentalist people, they're anti-vaxxers, they have vaccine interests, they have some political interests. That is not going to the details. I'm not here to the people, all the listeners and the audience, they already know that there are political elements which are going to dissuade them, but it is for themselves
Right.
to protect. It is up to them to protect themselves. Secondly, I would like to clarify
Absolutely.
certain points. One is that does the vaccine give rise to infertility? There is absolutely no data. There is absolutely no substance to this fact that this vaccine can cause infertility in the women or in the men at all. Those ladies, those who are willing to get pregnant, even they can go for vaccination and they can become pregnant later on, and they can plan their pregnancy later on. Those who have become pregnant, they can always discuss the vaccination process with their doctor and go for the vaccination. Second question
Right.
which Dr. Mrs. Pathak raised was whether the vaccine changes my RNA or DNA. That's an absolute answer which is required from an expert like me. Whenever we given a vaccine intravenously, the vaccine does not go into the cells, and it does not go into all the cells. The amount of dose which is given inside the muscles is a very small dose. It remains there itself, and all the cells of the body, they come near the muscle, and they get activated by the virus particles or the RNA over there. The RNA on among the mRNA vaccines or the DNA, which is there in the vector-based vaccine, that is the Covishield, is from a virus. This virus DNA does not integrate with the human DNA. So our DNA is absolutely separate and safe from the vaccine. So do not get into all this humor that it is going to change you, going to make you some alien, some sort of this thing. And whenever you have a doubt, whenever you have doubt, you always remember there are 1 crore healthcare workers who have taken the vaccine
Already.
in the
Yes.
front line, and they are going to face the challenge, and they are all qualified people. They trust the vaccine. You trust your doctor and take the vaccine.
Wonderful. Here we have a crystal clear answer once again. A couple of questions coming in for third wave. I'm certainly going to take those questions. But I have one question here, Dr. Pathak and Dr. Gupta, to both of you. There is this, I'm sure it is not a rumor, there was this whole thing going on about clotting. A lot of vaccination was leading to clotting. So somewhere some study came. Again, I don't know if it's a rumor or it's a fact that the vaccination, the injection, it was not getting injected in the muscles, but somewhere in the veins. And was that leading to clotting? I don't know. I mean, this is something which is again constantly there in the consumer's mind that, well, if I go for Pfizer, will I, experience some kind of clotting? So the one question which we have been continuously getting, please ask the doctors and the experts, which vaccine is the safest one? Which should I be going for? Should I be going for Covaxin? Should I be going for Covishield? Or should I be going for Sputnik? Which is the best one? Yes, Dr. Gupta.
Yes, thank you. It's a wonderful question. I'm asked this question every day. Regarding the clotting, There had been some cases of clotting, and the incidence of clotting was found to be 1 in 9 lakh cases, 1 in 10 lakh cases. It's a very, very low figure. And the incidence of clotting has been found to be more in the ladies less than 50 years of age. By and large, an incidence of clotting, 1 in 10 lakh, or maybe, if I don't remember exactly, it is 1 in 16 lakh, I believe. So it is a very, very low incidence of clotting. And this clotting has not really affected large number of people, and the risk is pretty low. One can easily go ahead. My wife, she went ahead with both the doses of Covishield. And she is not the only one I know. There are so many people in our society, in our locality, in our fraternity, among the doctors, who have taken the Covishield vaccine very, very safely. And this is the largest and the most common available vaccine in India. Not only in India, but all across the world. This is a very safe vaccine. There have been no instances of clotting with the Covaxin. There have been no instances of clotting with the Sputnik V vaccine. There have been no instances of clotting with the Moderna vaccine or the Pfizer vaccine. Pfizer vaccine is still not available in India. So only one vaccine, that is the Covishield vaccine, which has some incidence of clotting, unusual clotting, and that too has a very, very low incidence of 1 in 16 lakh doses, is a pretty low, and the risk of disease is much more high. Now I come to the second important question, which will always boggle the minds of all the listeners.
Which vaccine? Yeah.
How do we detect the clotting? The moment you have the headache, you start feeling that there's a clotting going on inside. It's not that. If the headache is there, because the headache is a mild side effect of Covishield vaccine. This can be there in normally also. And if you have the headache, second day onwards also, and you feel that the blurring of vision, and then you are seeing double, and then you are seeing some unusual features, then you go to the doctor and you tell him all the symptoms, and then he's going to decide whether you have the clotting or not. And how do we detect this clotting? Detection of the clotting is very, very simple. It does not require an MRI scan. It does not require a very, very sophisticated test. It's a simple platelet count. The clotting process decreases the platelet count in the blood. So if you are having a platelet count which is low, you are having constant severe headache, and you are having double vision, that is likely to be there in 1 in 16 lakh people, then you think that you are having clotting. Somebody is having a headache 1 month after the vaccination. No, it is not going to be clotting. It is going to be unrelated headache. So don't worry about it. And now third question.
Okay. Yeah, which vaccine? Which one vaccine? Should be in my list?
Currently, we do not have a choice. Whichever vaccine is available to you, easily and nearby, kindly go for it. We are already short of vaccines. Please do not be in a choosy mode right now. We are really short of vaccines. All the vaccines we have proven safety records. They are wonderfully immunogenic. They provide a good safety profile. So whatever vaccine is available to you, easily in your house, kindly go for it.
Absolutely wonderful. I'm sure Dr. Pathak would agree to this, that whichever vaccine is available, we should straight away go for it, not get into choices.
Definitely, because I believe as a pharmaceutical formulation development person, I know that all the vaccines have been developed meticulously by the researchers across the globe, and each of them has been tested, proven for safety and efficacy, right? So whatever vaccine is available, it is not just that is not going to help. Every vaccine is going to help, believe it. And safety is the top priority for developing any vaccine, and efficacy is also. So both go hand in hand. Efficacy and safety both go hand in hand for development of any product to be launched in market. So I think there's no question of choices. It is the question of availability. It's a question of availability. We are not here to select designer clothes. We are not here to select designer clothes or a clothing apparel. We are here to save our own life, save our family, save our generation, save our community. The responsibility lies on us.
Wonderful, Doctor. Wonderful.
You add a lot of similes and you add beauty to talk.
Beautifully.
Pardon?
I mean, she's summing up. She's
You
summing
had
up.
you
this
had beautiful similes to the top.
Thank you.
Okay,
My hand myself
we have
doesn't
already,
even bear facts.
so that is how we balance the discussion. And I think that, for one, this is one of the reasons, and it's, to be very candid to you, we have exceeded the time and we still have questions coming in. So I'm quickly taking just last two questions. There is
Supriya,
this one.
Supriya,
Yeah,
Supriya, can
Dr.
I
Pathak.
speak something about the variants? I want
Yeah,
to
Dr.
give some
Pathak, please.
science to it. See, variants means
Absolutely.
what? This COVID virus, this virus is basically containing 32,000 pairs of DNA, right? And among these 32,000 pairs, it is always some mutation happening, because this virus is a very smart virus. It loves humans. It keeps on finding a new host. And in each host, it is adjusting. Adjusting means it is undergoing mutation. So all the mutations are not scary. All the mutations
Right.
are not scary. They are not clinically important also. But there are certain mutations which become important, like the Delta variant. So
Right.
people should understand that the variation is going on. The virus is continuously mutating. It is not
And it
stopping.
will keep
It is
going
very
on,
smart.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is smart. But which variant, which mutation will affect clinically? That is the question. That is the question. And we don't have any answer. We really don't have any
Right.
answer whether the next mutation will be clinically harmful or it will be clinically invalid. The time will tell.
May I
The
add to
science
what
will
Dr.
tell.
Kamala Pathak has beautifully explained? Why
Yes,
does the
Dr.
virus mutate? Have you ever thought? It is me, you, and everybody else is responsible who has not got vaccinated.
Yes. It
See,
is trying
virus-
to adjust. It is trying to adjust.
Virus has a tendency to survive.
Right.
Yes.
Those people who have comorbidities like diabetes, hypertension, immunocompromised people, suppose the virus needs specific amino acid, and then amino acid is not there, and that person is he or he is deficient, then virus is going to make up using another another amino acid, and this amino acid change leads to some changes in the properties of the virus, and that is called as a mutation. And this mutation, once it changes the behavior of the virus, then becomes a variant of interest. In case it starts affecting the virulence of the virus or the transmissibility of the virus, then it becomes a variant of concern. The Delta plus virus is a variant of concern because the mutation has affected the virus in such a manner that it has become more transmissible. In first wave, we found that the people, 1 or 2% was affected in the family. In second wave, we found that the large number of people, the entire family got wiped off. Large number of people were affected because the virus was very highly transmissible. Once it comes into the family, it affects entire family. Previously, in first wave, we found that only 1 or 2 members of the family were suffering, others were not suffering. And second wave, what we found was different. So variants are responsible. In case we don't want the variants to come up, we have to get vaccinated. Especially those who are old, who are infirm, who are immunocompromised, those who are taking steroids, those who have diabetes, those who have hypertension, those who have chronic lung disease, they should be prioritized. Those who have the heart disease, they should go and get vaccinated.
Wonderful. I think both of you have summed it up with all the facts, with all the actual facts. And I think somewhere we can clearly see the readers are totally convinced about it. Just last two questions I'm going to take in quickly before we wrap up this discussion. There are rumors about third wave affecting children. Yes, I mean, this has been, there on WhatsApp, and even the government is talking about it. Please share some remedies, guidelines for parents to follow, as there is no vaccination yet advisable for kids. So first and foremost, I would certainly like to know from both of you, are we seriously expecting third wave, or is third wave itself a rumor? And if so, is the third wave going to impact kids, or is it a rumor? Over to you, Dr. Pathak.
Okay, this is a very clinical question, and I think Dr. Gupta will be more appropriate to answer this. But what I have heard is we are preparing for the third wave, and it is being circulated. And at least in my university, I see that there are online training programs going on for catering the pediatric patients, those who may suffer from COVID. And I don't have much knowledge about this, whether the wave is coming or not. I don't know. I'm not sure about it. But of course, we are preparing for it. That is what I can say.
Wonderful.
I would
Wonderful.
like
I
to
think Dr. Gupta, yes, I think Dr. Gupta would
shed more light on it.
Sure.
So there are 2-3 things. One is that we are going to have the third wave or not. Secondly, whether the third wave is going to be as big as the second wave or even worse than the second wave. We are already scared. We have gone through the hell in the second wave.
Right.
And thirdly, whether the third wave is going to affect the children more. My answer to the first question is that the third wave is going to be there, but the duration, the interval between the second wave and third wave is going to be longer. Why is it so? Because we are vaccinating more and more people. And by the end of this year, we have to vaccinate about, say, 70% of the population. And the vaccination is protected. Secondly, the Sero survey, which has been done by the Indian Council of Medical Research, the third Sero survey, the report is going to come shortly. We have the interim reports, we have the interim data. It shows that about 57% population has already been affected by the virus. And this protection, this much population is already protected against the virus. It was not there so in the second wave. Second wave, the vaccination was very low. Only 1 crore people were vaccinated before the second wave. Secondly, the Sero survey showed that the 25% population was having the antibodies. Now the situation has changed. We are from 1 crore to 37 crore people who have been given at least 1 dose. Secondly, the third Sero survey, the second wave affected large number of people and it gave them asymptomatic infection. So these people, they are about 57% people are already infected with the virus. They already have the protective antibodies. And we have given good amount of vaccination to large number of people and we are vaccinating more people. So the third wave is likely to be there because some people will be vulnerable, still vulnerable, but large number of people will be protected either by vaccination or by the natural infection or by both. This is about the second wave, third wave. So we are going to have a third wave, but the duration of the third wave, the interval between the second wave and the third wave is not likely to be longer. And secondly, the duration of the third wave is likely to be shorter. And the severity of the third wave is also likely to be much shorter than the second wave. This is regarding the prediction of the second wave. Now coming on to the very important question, whether the children are going to get affected. We do not have any vaccination for the children. Let me give you a very good news. The Covaxin, the Bharat Biotech vaccine is being tried and the trials are on in children more than 2 years of age. And the trials are likely to get completed shortly, maybe in a month or so or 2 months or so, and we are going to have the vaccination to start for children more than 2 years of age. Currently, we have the vaccine which has already been approved. That is the Zydus vaccine, that is Zydus DNA vaccine. And let me tell you, all the people, all the listeners, that it is a needleless vaccine. It does not give any needle, and it is going to get available to the children very, very shortly, maybe another few days, maybe another few weeks. And this is the indigenous vaccine made by a company called Zydus Cadila in India, and the Zydus Cadila is going to launch this vaccine on a very large scale. And once this vaccine comes in the market, we are going to start the vaccination process. Though the final decision is going to be taken by the government of India, but we are going to launch this vaccination for the children also. And let me tell you once again, that the doctors they brought their children for vaccination trials of these vaccines. We are always there on the forefront, and we trust in our scientific process. We believe in our scientists. We believe in our government, and we trust the entire process of vaccination. So do not be afraid. And now the fourth question. How do we prepare? I know you're getting short of time. My assessment is that second wave, it was said that it is going to affect more adults. But when we compare the data of the first wave and the second wave, we find that as number of adults were affected, as number of children were affected, the mortality figures were nearly the same. And same way, the third wave is not likely to get affecting the children more. Do not be scared, but always necessary to observe COVID appropriate behavior.
COVID appropriate
Teach your
behavior.
children
Wonderful.
about the COVID appropriate behavior and follow it strictly all the time.
Wonderful, Doctor. What a wonderful information and such great news you just shared with us. So, readers, you are clearly getting this indication that there is going to be a needle-less vaccination as well in the pipeline for your children. And please follow the COVID appropriate behavior. And third wave is certainly not here to impact children. That is probably a rumor, but again, the COVID appropriate behavior is certainly a must. Thank you, Dr. Gupta, for such a wonderful, insightful information. I hope we lost, Dr. Pathak lost her connection or something. Just a sec. Okay, she's back here. She's back here once again. Just last 1 minute, there is this one question coming in again and again. I hope we have stretched it too far, but the discussion is going wonderful. The readers are coming up with their questions, one after the other. So this is the last question. I'm quickly taking Dr. Pathak or Dr. Gupta, whosoever would like to address this. What about the home remedies? Are these good option for the prevention of COVID infection? Yes, I think बहुत काढ़ा पी लिया लोगों ने, बहुत शायद अदरक टर्मरिक वाली चाय पी ली. So yes, Dr. Pathak, would you like to address this? I think this is once again a rumor, or is there any fact to it?
See, first thing I must tell, I never had any काढ़ा.
अभी एक मिनट में बात करता हूँ मैं.
ठीक है, काढ़ा एंटीवायरल होगा ऐसा तो मैंने कोई साइंस नहीं सुनी है. This is very clear. I never had any काढ़ा, but yes, one thing I can say that if you can protect your throat, that is my concept कि अगर आप अपने गले के इन्फेक्शन को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं तो maybe you may not fall into the risk, but I don't believe in this काढ़ा business. That is my message. I don't believe in काढ़ा business.
Any home remedy? Just a sec, Dr. Gupta, any home remedy here would you like to recommend or suggest?
See, when the first wave came, we were talking about boosting our immunity.
Right.
Take kala, take adrak, take fruits, take dry fruits, take this, that. Boost the immunity. But do you feel that anything worked? Second wave came. And it came in a disastrous manner.
In a disastrous
Proving that
manner.
all these remedies were not really beneficial. Now, after the second wave, we are talking of boosting the vaccination. So, if you really want to boost the immunity against the virus, one thing which can do it is vaccination. We are now among the doctors talking about the booster dose.
Right.
I know the booster dose of third dose cannot be given to all the people, not even the frontline workers. It is not in the pipeline right now. But kindly try to boost the vaccination all across your neighborhood, as I said earlier. And this is one thing for sure. Other things you want to take, say, the good foods, dry fruits, good exercise to keep you healthy. That is going to help you. But if you feel that it is going to help you against the virus, I really doubt it. But still, it is always better to maintain a good health, have a healthy diet, and do good exercise.
Wonderful.
जबरदस्ती काढ़ा नहीं पियो. It is not going to help. Just have a good healthy diet. अपने आप को sustain करना. The question is of sustainability. We need to sustain. And the answer, as he told, Dr. Gupta told, vaccine is the answer.
Boosting the vaccination, absolutely. That's exactly why Transformative Today did this wonderful discussion on Monday evening. Thank you, readers, for joining us, and thank you, experts, for your valuable inputs and sparing your valuable time for Transformative Today. So it's a clear message, readers, from our experts to all of you. Let the drive go on in full swing. Vaccination is the only immunity booster. Thank you, Dr. S.K. Gupta, and thank you, Dr. Kamla Pathak, for joining this evening with us. Bye-bye.